Your forward lunge technique is pretty good, but it still hurts. What do you do then? Watch this video. That's what you do, because here Lance and I are going to go through some of the mobility drills needed to open up range of motion in the legs so you can actually load the quad and the glute in the forward lunge, not get knee discomfort, and minimize the load into the back leg. Let's get into it. If you're experiencing any discomfort whatsoever in the front leg, whether it's a split squat, forward lunge, any type of lunge variation, the first step after you've achieved foot positioning, foot contacts, is to teach yourself to bring your center of mass back so it offloads the front leg. For that, I'm going to coach Tony through a walking wall squat. Now, depending on which lunge, split squat, whatever is problematic, you're going to offset this slightly. So what you can see here is I have Tony with his left foot ahead of the right. This would be if someone's doing a left lunge or a left split squat. And I also have Tony's heels only on these plates. What that's going to do is it's going to allow Tony to flatten his arch. If Tony can flatten his arch, he's going to better able to produce internal rotation through the legs, which you need during any lunging split squat variation. Now from here, what I'm going to have Tony do is I'm going to have Tony put your hands on the wall like you partied too hard in Vegas. You're going to look straight ahead onto the wall. And then what we're going to do is teach Tony to get his hips to come back. Here's how we're going to do it. Step one, unlock the knees. I want you soft, lazy. Step two, you want to put weight through the inside heel and the base of the big toe. Now from here, you're going to keep looking at the wall. I want you to take a silent in through your nose. Exhale, push into the wall and push your hips back like so. The knees shouldn't move. Now if you get it right, Tony ought to feel the back of his hips engaging. What I want Tony to do from here then is you're going to slowly squat down, but I want you to walk your hands down the wall, and it should magnify that nice and slow right about there. You don't want to go too low, because what Tony will have a tendency to do is he'll round through his lower back. If that happens because they overshot it, you can simply just coach them to push the hips back a little bit more and hinge. And I'm going to have Tony hang out in this position. Just breathe silent in through the nose. Long, slow, easy exhale. And if you zoom in nice and close, you can see my man has some legs that are shaking.
So one thing we can do with split squats, lunging, kind of asymmetrical lower body exercises, if you have somebody like Tony whose low back is really extended, he has trouble kind of dissociating the spine movement from the hip movement, we can take him over to the wall, teach him how to stabilize his spine, and then teach him how to hold that with an offset stance. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do basically a very, very minimal lunge. Tony, I'm gonna have you go right leg forward. So we got your heel elevation plates here just to help you kind of feel some foot contact. And so I got his right foot ahead of the left foot, kind of like he's doing a right leg forward lunge. I want you to give me a really easy sigh out and just very gently feel your back melt into the wall. Right? Now, if I tell Tony to exhale really hard and push it really hard, he's not really going to get a whole lot of benefit out of this. So keep that pressure there, and then all I want to see is just a little bit of leg loading. So just squat down just a hair and hold right there. That's probably plenty. We're just going to sit here. We're going to hold this. I like to see the leg shake, which is good. He's got a little bit of that. I can even I could say, Tony, hey, throw your hands up like you're blocking a kick. And that can help him drive some of this very gently back into the wall.
Now, if you're someone who feels a lot in the back leg of a split squat, lunge, what have you, what you need to do is you need to be able to teach yourself to actually push forward from the back leg. We can use a drill like this quadruped on elbows hip extension with my man Tony. And so what I'm going to do with this particular move is whatever leg is going to be the back leg, that's going to be up against the wall. I'm going to have Tony's palms completely flat. I want your eyes looking between the fingertips. Now from here, what I'm going to have Tony do is I'm going to have Tony do a silent inhale through the nose. Exhale, just slowly push through your forearms and your hands to come up. If you get it right, you're going to feel a little bit of them phenomenal abdominals. Now, I'm going to use 2 foot contacts with this particular move. I want to get a little bit of weight through the inside heel, and I want to sense the base of the big toe. I'm going to have Tony push into the wall a little bit, and what you should see, go ahead and keep pushing, is you're going to see Tony start to move more forward, which is exactly what we want with the split squat, forward lunge, what have you. But I want that driven from the back leg as opposed to translating everything forward like we saw if you see someone who flexes too much or they arch their back too much. Let's suppose they're having still a difficult time feeling the glute. What I can do is I can use the same plate elevation that I used with the walking wall squat, only this time I'm going to put it underneath the heel on the wall. Now, plate's not ideal, but a small book works pretty slick. I'm going to hold the plate and unweight it just because I want to be nice to Tony. Same cues. Eyes between the fingertips. Silent in through the nose. Imagine Michael Myers from the Halloween movies is close by. Exhale. Push, and then get those foot contacts. And so do the same thing. Hold, breathe, 5 breaths, take a rest, rinse and repeat. And those are some of the key drills used to improve the mobility needed to perform a forward lunge pain-free. But maybe your technique isn't as good as you thought it was. For that, you have to check out this video right here that Lance and I did, which goes over some of the technical elements on the forward lunge.